Hi, everyone. Welcome to Northern Zen Yoga. My name is Sandra, and today we're going to continue to be working on our hip area, getting those hips moving. The thing about the hips is this. When they start to get tight, when they start to get very uncomfortable to move freely, we stop moving. We stop climbing stairs. We stop going for long walks. And what happens is our quality of life starts to suffer for this. So getting the hips strong and flexible is very important, especially as we get older. So we're going to begin our yoga class today with a little bit more of a traditional start. So I want you to get in a seated position. If you need to stop the video after I tell you the things that you may need, you're welcome to do that and then come back, start it again, and join the class. So you will need something to sit on. If you don't have some fancy cushions like I have accumulated here, you can just use a pillow, especially if it's a nice firm pillow. You have one of those Tempur-Pedic pillows that has a little bit more of firmness to it. That's fantastic. You can use anything you like just to get your bottom up a little higher than what your knees will be. This is because in the elevated position of the hips up just slightly higher, you'll find even if your knees are very tight, your legs are very tight, and you're sitting more like this position, you'll just find it'll open up just a little bit more and make practice just that tiny bit more comfortable. Remember what I've always been telling you. As long as you're feeling something happening, you're doing it. So don't worry if you're not looking exactly like I do when you see me do the practice or any of the other videos you may watch. Just know that if you are trying your best and you're feeling a bit of a stretch happening, you're doing yoga. So go get your stuff and then come on back. We're going to need also your mat, but most of our practice is going to be in a seated position. So the mat is here for a couple of the things that we're going to be doing, but most of it will be in a seated position. So make sure the pillow you grab is comfortable. You can also use a rolled up blanket if that feels a little better, if you don't have anything handy or small enough to sit on. A lot of different options you can use in order just to get your hips up a bit higher. If you have an old yoga mat, you can roll that up and sit on that. You can also sit on blocks. Blocks are not the most comfortable for a prolonged time on the mat in a seated position. But if that's all you have, put it on the lowest level so you have the most available space for your bottom to sit on and your sit bones to make contact with the block. So I'll give you a moment to go get your things, and then we're going to begin. So let's begin in our easy pose. And remember, whatever easy pose looks like for you, it's a crossed leg position, ankles crossed, and then your knees can be wherever you need them to be to get comfortable. You don't want them to feel nothing. Now, that is important. You want to feel that you're having a little bit of an achiness when you're bending, even at the knees, and a little bit of achiness in the hips from the weight of your legs wanting to come open and go toward the ground. So as long as you're not in sharp pain, you're okay. If you really, really feel you need extra support, if you're not able to hold your position that long, you can shove blankets and extra pillows just underneath around where the thighs are, just to give it some support. And then we're going to let our legs relax. We're just going to let everything relax as much as we can. And sitting up nice and straight, lifting up through the rib cage, giving your diaphragm room to move. Try not to slump, because what that does is it crunches down onto your diaphragm, pushes your ribs down into your gut area. And that makes the breathing, that opening up the lungs and letting lots of air come into the chest a little more difficult. So once you're comfortable, you've got your position and you've got your nice straight back, and you can then think about, well, where am I going to put my hands? Well, you can put your hands, just relax them down, just around the top of your legs here, anywhere that feels good. You can have them in your lap, fingers folded together if you like. Or if you want to assume the prayer position and give your palms a little workout here by pressing them into each other. You can also do that. But make sure if you're doing this position that you can maintain it for a while. And if you can't, just allow yourself to let go. Don't ever force yourself to maintain a position for longer than you're able to. Even if I am teaching you a class and I'm showing you a posture and you know you've hit the wall on how long you can maintain this position, you need to move your legs. This is your body. You know it better than I do. You need to move your legs a little bit, get some circulation going, and then come back and join us if we're not done yet. That's also perfectly fine. So, sitting nice and quietly, resting your hands, relaxed body, but lifting up the rib cage so that we don't have any impediment to take a nice deep breath. Let's take that first deep breath in through the nose, into the belly, pushing our belly out as we inhale. And on the exhale, pushing the belly back in. And we're breathing in and out through the nose most of the time in yoga. Now, once in a while, I'll tell you to breathe out through the mouth. That's to help you relax. But if you have a condition that does not allow you to breathe properly through your nose, then just have your lips parted enough to inhale and exhale. Breathing in, pushing out the belly, exhale, pushing it back, and a little bit upward. So start to recognize the part of your body that's moving your diaphragm. Inhale, exhale. And if you make a noise as you exhale, that's fine. That's actually a good thing. So feel the breath moving in and out. Begin to feel how your bottom feels, where it's sitting. Become aware of your hands where they touch your body. Keep breathing. Nice, long, slow, deep breaths. And then gently change the position of your legs. So we're going to cross them the opposite way. So putting the one that was behind in front, and the one that was front behind. Relax back down again. Take a few more breaths. Find yourself, settle it in. Straighten up your back. Relax your shoulders and breathe. And you don't have to have your eyes closed to do this, but I find that when your eyes are closed, you tend to be more aware of what's going on inside you and not about what's going on around you. So just breathe. And let our eyes float open if they're closed. And we're going to start to do some movements. We're just going to inhale the arms up, nice big stretch up. Exhale them down. And if you're able to, try to resist your movement as you go up and down. And remember, this is up and down for you. So if you only can get to here because your shoulders are very tight, just make sure you're moving just a little bit into that uncomfortable area before you allow your hands to come down. And this is not a race. As a matter of fact, the slower, the better. Nice and slow, giving your arms a chance to work on those muscles by resistance. Arms are heavy, so lifting them up and down is helping our muscles to get bigger, to get stronger. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, slowly reaching up. And this time on the exhale, we're just going to drop our hand over to the right side and we're going to stretch this way. Just a little stretch. And again, if you're only up here, if your arms are only allowed you to go this high, you can always just drop your hand down to your shoulder and just think about lifting the elbow up. Inhaling, bringing both hands up. Exhale, let's go to the other side. Again, for you, you might be here. And just allow your hand to relax down if it's feeling a little achy and focus on lifting up the shoulder. Inhale up. Exhale. Let's bring our hands down to behind us and stretch behind. Reach for behind you. Reach for as far as you can, bringing your shoulder blades toward each other. And if you're able to grab your hands, great. If not, just go as far as you can. If it's only about to here, that's okay. Turn your palms forward and just start to try to squeeze those shoulder blades together. Opening up the chest. Sitting nice and straight. We're going to take a deep inhale, lifting up the rib cage. On the exhale, just allow your head to drop back and stretching up through the throat chakra. Once in a while, you'll hear me talk about chakras. You can release, bring your hands back up again. And this time on the exhale, we're just going to come forward, reaching for the floor. Now, if you're in this position and you're reaching through your legs to try to get toward the floor, make sure you're not arching your back to get there. Just push your belly forward. And if you don't get to the floor, just drop your hands down and just think about pushing your belly and your chest forward between the legs. You'll get much more stretch this way than trying to arch your back and trying to reach for the floor that way. This is what we're trying to work on. We're trying to work on getting these hip joints moving. So pushing the belly forward, is the way to get the hip joint to move as opposed to just curling your spine. Inhale, come back to center. We'll stretch our legs out. We're going to switch them again so that we're going to do the same couple of exercises, but this time in the opposite position. So I think that was this way. I can't remember. That's one thing we have to work on. So anyway, let's just inhale up. Nice big stretch up. Exhale. Let's take a side bend. Reaching over top, right by your ear. If you can do this, then you start to work on pushing the rib cage out and reaching for the floor or for the wall beside you. Inhale slowly, coming up. Remember, you can do it the other way if you're not able to lift your arm all the way up. Inhale up, exhale. Let's do the other side. For those of you that can reach over your head, you're trying to reach for the opposite wall. Make sure you keep both of your cheeks on the floor. Don't lift up one in order to get over there. Nice inhale as you come up. Exhale. Let's bring the hands behind us. Again, if you're only here, you can only get back this far. Just turn your palms forward and start to press the shoulder blades toward each other. If you're able to get your hands behind you, try to get them as close as you can. If you can grab your hands, grab onto them. Nice straight back. Inhale, lifting up the rib cage. Exhale, relax your head back. Allowing your throat to open up. And exhale, slowly come back up. Inhale the arms up again. And let's exhale into the prayer pose this time. So as I was saying, I talked about chakras. They're just places within your body that has been scientifically proven, by the way, to have centers where a lot of nerve endings come together and transfer energy. And they go from your base of your body, in your torso, right around your groin area, and they have certain key points that go all the way up to the top of your head. And when we have not moved around a lot, sometimes these areas, these nerve bundles, can get quite congested with energy. And that sometimes can even cause you pain, or it can cause you a discomfort, or it just cause you to be a little bit out of sorts. And by doing yoga, we just kind of get everything moving so that we get all of these energy centers stretched and moving and releasing pent up stuff that has been clogged up in there. I know it's a big science, chakras and auras and all those things. And I don't like to get too much into that, but I just want you to know that yoga helps you get your energy flowing the way it's supposed to be through the body to help bring healing energy. The body provides energy from nourishment that it provides through all of the areas of the body. So we're going to work on a hip stretch. Now, this hip stretch is quite easy to do, and we're just going to work on it by moving our feet away from us and apart. So you see, I have my legs apart, and how far apart they are is up to your particular hip. But you need to move your legs as far as comfortably you can move them apart so that you have a way of being able to just drop the knee to the side and out. So this is basically what this exercise is going to do. So if your legs are too close, you're going to knock knees. So try to get them as far apart so that if you do tip your leg over, you're not going to whack into the other leg. If you can get them farther apart, even better. So the first one we're going to do is on the right side, and we're going to gently place our hand against the side of our thigh. And this way, we're going to apply just a little bit of pressure as we move our knee toward the ground. So we're just going to tip the leg over, and we want to push gently, not with a lot of effort, just gently, just to support it. And we're going to go until we feel a stretch. The stretch will happen in between this area. So just push it. We're not pushing on our knee. Be very careful. You're not using your hand on your knee to push. You're using the meat in your thigh to push. And we're just going to push that toward the floor and roll over onto the side of your foot if your hip allows you to do that until you feel the stretching. We're going to take a few deep breaths here. Inhaling into the belly just like before. Exhale, this time through the mouth. If you feel your leg relax a little bit, to see if you can push it just a little bit further. Inhale. Exhale through the mouth. One more. Inhale. Exhale. And relax it. Let it come back up. And now we're going to go the opposite direction. So rolling on our heel, lift your toes up to make it easier. We're going to place our hand on the inside of the thigh, and we're going to push the leg open as far as we're able to in the seated position. Just so you're rolling over onto the side of your foot, if that works. Now, if you're finding that all the stuff you have here is getting in your way and you can't quite go any further, this is a good time to just maybe get off your cushion, and we're going to start to push that leg toward the floor. Now, this one should not feel quite as difficult, or maybe it does, as the other way. So just pressing onto our thigh, trying to push that leg down toward the floor. We're going to take a few breaths here too. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling. Exhales all through the mouth. Inhaling through the nose. Exhale. And we'll release that. Shake them out if you need to. And we're going to switch legs. Now this one here, you can just let the opposite leg that you're not working on, you can just let it relax any way that feels good. If you want to shove some stuff under there to give it some support, you can do that. So now we're working on the other leg, and we're placing our hand against our thigh, and we're moving it in toward the middle, pushing our knee down toward the floor, rolling onto the side of our foot. Taking deep breaths. Inhale through the nose. Exhaling through the mouth. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Nice deep inhale. Exhale. Now, as you get better at this, you can start to bring your leg much closer to you to get a little more of a stretch up into the top of the hip. In the beginning, if you can feel something stretching when you're at this position or your leg extended out almost straight, that's fine. But as you stop feeling any stretching happening, you need to find a place that you can find it by bringing the foot closer to the body in that particular one. Now we're going to go out the opposite way now. So rolling our leg out to the side, trying to bring the knee toward the floor and pushing a little bit into the thigh just to give it a little encouragement to get down a little further. Take a deep breath in, exhaling, inhale, exhale. One more, inhale and exhale. And release. Shake your legs out. So we're going to come onto all fours. And if you have lots of things in your way, you might want to move them out of the way at this time. I'm just going to take my big meditation cushion and just throw it over there. Let's come onto all fours. So up until this point, you could have done this particular exercise in a chair. But coming onto all fours is a little more difficult if you're wanting to do yoga from a chair. So you can do this same exercise by standing in front of your chair, using the seat of your chair as your positioning and placing your hands on the chair and bending over so that you have basically this position, but instead of being on your knees, you're standing on your feet. So we're going to begin on this side. And what we're going to do is we're going to keep our hands, trying to find our position that will help us to have balance here. We're going to inhale and exhale the leg back. We're going to inhale it forward, tucking it toward us. And then we're going to exhale and then inhale it up. So bringing it back down again. So we're doing back, curl in, lift out, come back. So once more, watch. Pushing it back, bringing it forward, lifting it up, and dropping it back down. Let's switch to the other side. Pushing it back, bringing it forward, lifting it up, coming back down. So we're going to do a few of these, and we're going to do it on each side, alternating sides. So one on one side, the next one will be on the opposite side. Then we're going to switch, and we're going to do 6 all together. So 3 on this side and 3 on that side. So let's inhale, pressing back. Exhale as we pull the knee forward. Inhale the leg up. Exhale it down. Switch sides. Inhale back. Exhale forward. Inhale up. Exhale down. Switch sides. Inhale up. Exhale forward. Inhale up. Exhale down. Once more. On the opposite side, inhale out. Exhale forward. Inhale up. Exhale down. And now we're going to push ourselves back into child pose. So child pose, you can have knees together if you like, or if you prefer, you can have your knees wide apart. So opening up the knees, if you're having the wide apart leg yoga position, and we're going to bring our belly down toward the floor. So this is very important. We're not here trying to get our head anywhere. The head down onto the floor does not matter. What matters is trying to get the belly down between the legs. So if you're in the wide leg position, you're going to walk your hands out and you're going to let your belly get heavy. You're going to try to keep your bottom close to your heels. If you're in this position because of your knees, just try to push against your hands, push yourself back, just till you feel a nice big stretch. So pushing back, pushing back, pushing back. And if you're quite a bit up, it's the same thing. If you're in a position like this and you're trying to push back, just go to where you feel the stretch start. And then breathe there, and then just keep pushing a little bit till you feel a more intense stretch. And then when you get to the point where you feel this is as far as I can go before it's going to start to really hurt me, that's where you stop. But for those of you that can get your bottom down toward the heels, we want to keep them there. So we're just working on bringing the belly toward the floor, not our head down. I'm going to take a few deep breaths in this position. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling and exhaling through the mouth. Inhale once more. Exhale. Come back up. So for those of you that wanted to do it with the knees together, it's basically the same thing. Sitting on the heels. If you're in this position, you should be able to sit back on your heels quite easily. If you're not able to sit on your heels easily, you should be working with the wide leg child pose. So then we're just going to bring our belly down, trying to bring our belly and our chest down onto our lap. And put your elbows down to the floor, get you in the right position. And after this point, then we are starting to bring the head toward the floor, but not sacrificing it by doing this. If you can't bring your head to the floor without lifting up your bum, then you should be stopping exactly where you feel you need to lift and working from there. And just let everything get heavy. And then come back up. So now we're sitting in a position which some of you may not be able to do. You may have had to come right up onto your knees because of the fact that crunching down onto your heels is not a comfortable one. So this is where you can grab a block if you have one handy. And remember, the block is here to help you, to make you more successful. It's not a crutch. It's not something that you have to be ashamed of or work toward not using. I still use a block for lots of my practice. It has a lot of uses, and it's my best friend. So for people who are having a hard time getting into the kneeling position and sitting, you can use the block to help to support you here. If you can feel a stretch happening into the front of your thighs, that's all you have to worry about. You're actually beginning the process of stretching out the tendons and muscles in this area as we're working on the hips and onto this area here of our thighs. Slowly, everything will start to stretch out a lot more comfortably and easily for you. If you're not finding a stretch there, that's when you can switch to the next position on the block. It's a little bit higher than on your heels, but it does help you to get into this position and still feel the stretch without having any pain in your knees. You can also use cushions here or rolled up blankets in the same way, shoving them between your shins and your thighs behind you. But if you're able to get down onto your heels, then we're going to begin in this position, and we're going to take a few breaths here, and we're going to let ourselves just settle down for a few seconds, stretching out the front of our legs. So all of this area of our body is all part of the same mechanism. The hips are designed to help us to walk upright, and they're connected through a series of muscles and tendons that come down to the leg, to the knees. And a lot of these do get tight as we are constantly sitting in a position at work, a seated position, or if we're constantly watching television and always sitting in a nice comfy chair. These things start to shrink and tighten up, and that makes walking and moving them a lot more difficult. So just sitting like this, wherever you are, whether you're higher up on your block or whether you're sitting on your heels, just for the time that I'm having this conversation with you, will definitely help to start getting things stretching here in order to make your movement a lot more comfortable from hip to knee. So we're going to come down onto our bottom, onto the mat. And we're going to come to the end of our class today. I know this was not a very long class, it's a very short one, but it was important to get some of these things moving. And I know a lot of you don't have a lot of time to spend watching videos. So sometimes spending a few minutes, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, doing a stretch in a specific area is giving you the same benefit as if you were having to do a yoga class once a week. So try that out. Try at least every day to work a different stretch. I have quite a few stretches that you can do on my channel that will help you to get your hips moving. Mix it up. Don't do the same ones all the time. And you'll find that this will help you to move forward, get things moving a little bit easier so that you can enjoy a full yoga class without as much problems. So, speaking about yoga class, if you've got this point in the video, you'll know that pretty soon we're going to be going live. So I'm going to need your help. I'm going to need you to send me some questions, send me some concerns so that I know how to formulate the class. In our first live class, it's going to be happening on October the 25th. It's a Sunday and it's at 10:30. So put that down in your calendar and make sure you send me a comment to tell me what you would like me to talk about or what area of the body you would prefer that we focus on for that class. And put aside the time and join me. I'll be so happy to see all of you checking into the channel and watching me live. And if it works out well, if I don't have too many technical difficulties with it, then we are going to do that on a regular basis. So at least every couple of weeks, I will have a live class for you to join and we'll do yoga together. So let's close this class now. So in a yoga class, just like how we begin it, we have a closing ceremony, and sometimes it starts off with Shavasana. So certainly if you would like to lay down for a few moments, put this on pause, take a few moments, lay on your mat and have Shavasana time. Do that. Do at least 2 minutes. It's usually a tenth of the time that you spend doing yoga, that you spend time doing Shavasana at a minimum. So take at least 2 minutes, and maybe 5 would be better, and lie down and just relax and let your body relax. And then press play again, come back and join us. And we're going to do our closing time here. I'm just going to bring my singing bowl. This is a singing bowl to help us close off the class. We're going to sit just like we did in the beginning for a few moments. Just take a few breaths. Close your eyes. Focus on how you're feeling now. You're feeling some achiness because you stretched out, or maybe you feel a little more relaxed than you did when you began the class. Take a few deep breaths into the belly, exhaling through the nose. Take another inhale, exhale through the nose. One more, inhale, exhale through the nose. Bring your hands into prayer position. You can open your eyes if you like. Let's take one deep breath in. And we're going to Om on our exhale. Inhaling for Om. Om. Rub your hands together, generating lots of energy. Close your eyes, place your palms over your closed eyes, and as you breathe in, open them. Sending the energy deep into the body. On your exhale, palms to ceiling. Sending the energy back out to the universe, scooping up just a little piece. Bring it back to your heart center. Namaste. Bye for now. Have a great day.